In business, cash is queen. Startup funds, revenues from selling products and services, investments to pivot or scale operations are necessary resources for entrepreneurs to thrive. That is, maximize revenue, stay in business, and make a positive impact in their communities. Since money doesn't grow on trees, funding has to come from somewhere. Personal savings, family and friends, bankers, investors. We can all agree that in order for businesses to maintain a positive cash flow, aka stay in business, all entrepreneurs must embrace the hustle to make that money. Yet, when we look at the issue of business funding through the lens of equity, we must ask, does everyone have access to the necessary resources to thrive? Prior to the pandemic, Black women were the fastest growing group of entrepreneurs, with 21% of women-owned firms owned by Black women. Despite the growth in number of firms, the average revenue for Black women-owned businesses was $24,000 per year compared to $218,800 for white women-owned businesses. And in tech, the number of Black women-led startups doubled from 2016 to 2020. Yet, investments represented less than 1% of $424.7 billion in total tech ventures. When it comes to business financing, women receive less loans that are smaller with a higher rate of interest. And compared to non-minority owned firms, minority owned firms are less likely to receive a loan when applied for, and more likely not to apply for a loan due to fear of rejection. This isn't surprising given that business financing relies heavily on revenue growth and credit scores, which have been significantly influenced by a history of earnings and wealth gaps, and decision-making that can be subject to conscious and unconscious bias. These challenges are often compounded for Black women who are positioned at the intersection of race and gender. Despite Black women's inequitable access to business funding and financing, we continue to demonstrate resilience and resourcefulness in order to start and sustain businesses. But at what cost? When Black women dip into their personal savings or incur personal debt to start or sustain their businesses, they put themselves and their family's security at risk. What happens when there's an emergency like a hurricane or a heart attack? When does one get to break free of those shackles of student loans or put a down payment on a house? It is unfair for one group to assume such a disproportionate amount of debt, risk, delays in personal and family wealth to achieve the American dream of being a business owner. And how can Black women thrive as entrepreneurs without equitable access to business funding and financing? As I mentioned earlier, cash is queen and a necessary resource, and is not just limited to the startup phase. Businesses grow as more customers pay. And a common way to grow your customer base is to provide new products and services. Unless a business has enough profits and savings to reinvest in new business offerings, business owners need an infusion of cash. This enables them to focus on their business development, hire staff, secure vendors, boost marketing efforts so they can more quickly achieve a return on investment, increase revenue growth, and staying in business. Advancing equity in terms of access to business funding and financing not only provides Black women with the necessary resources to thrive as entrepreneurs, it also empowers economic growth and positive change in our communities. Innovative approaches that advance equity in terms of business funding and financing are as diverse as Black women entrepreneurs. Organizations like Black Girl Ventures and I Fund Women encourage Black women entrepreneurs to consider crowdsourcing as a fundraising option and offer support to craft fundable pitches and campaigns. Communities like New Voices and Hello Alice build the capacity of Black women entrepreneurs to seek and secure funding through its thoughtfully designed learning labs and sprints. Networks such as Digital Undivided connect and develop Black and Latinx founders via its incubators and accelerators. And finally, what better way to increase access to funding for Black women entrepreneurs than to increase the number of Black women-led firms and funds that invest in Black women founders, such as Backstage Capital, 1863 Ventures, and the Fearless Fund. These funding innovations demonstrate a growing understanding of the challenges that Black women entrepreneurs face. They remove barriers to and increase opportunities for funding to provide equitable access to the resources that are necessary for Black women entrepreneurs to thrive. My name is Dr. Erica Tate. I am the founder of Bluknowledge. This Women's History Month, we are planting seeds of social change. Thank you.